old Sanford, that hits him, he's done.
I hope so.
He got hit by the side-by-side one time, fractured his leg.
Yeah.
He got hit by that.
Alright guys, today is May 18th. I think it's Thursday. So we're going camping this weekend, and before we go, I want to get the garden planted. So I got my granddad's thing here. It's just a one-wheel thing, and makes the rows for you. So we're gonna do corn, and at the top potatoes, cucumbers and tomatoes in there. And normally we do green beans. I don't know if we're doing any or not. Dad hasn't told me yet. But I at least need to make the rows for the corn and the potatoes, and I might start planting some stuff, and then later when Dad gets home, we'll plant the rest. So. All right, so this is what I got done. I got 6 rows for corn and then 4 rows for potatoes. That might not be exactly what we do, but just until we get the tomatoes in here and the cucumbers there, and then in case we're doing beans, I'm just gonna leave that for now. Last year we had 5 rows of corn and 3 rows of potatoes, so there's an extra from last year. I'll just see when Dad gets here what he wants to do. But now the rows are made, so that'll help this go a little bit quicker. Guys, today is Wednesday, May 26th. It's like almost 8. So I'm gonna get the sprayer ready on the 4-wheeler. We got this like 2 months ago, maybe, to spray weeds, because we have to spray a lot, and walking around with that hand stuff sucks. Plus it's pretty expensive compared to doing this. So I'm gonna get this ready so I can spray here in a little bit. You gotta have, what we're doing, 2 and 2 2/3 ounces for this for every 1 gallon. So I'm not measuring, but I'm gonna kind of guess. I need about 18 ounces. That's probably pretty close to it. I'm guessing, I don't know. It's gotta be at least somewhat close. So now I just gotta get around back and add water to it. So I'm gonna go do that, and then we'll be ready to start spraying. All right, I got the water hose hooked up. I'm waiting for the water to run through. Basically, I think there's amounts on this thing, but it's a 15-gallon sprayer, so halfway, or a little over halfway, is about 7 gallons. Or yeah, a little over halfway. This water ever comes through, guess I can put this wand together. I always take it apart because with it being so long, it gets. Alright, there we go. So here's the long part of this nozzle. Just screws on here. If I can do it. There we go. So now it's ready to go. As far as that, I think I got a kink in the hose. All right, I got 2 kinks out. Water should be good to go. So now we just sit here and wait till it fills up, I guess. All right, I got the sprayer all filled up. That's a little bit more than halfway, because halfway would be, if you want 7, that'd be 14, but since it's 15, actually should have been a little less, but it's all good. In the shop here, we redid the whole shop because it was a pretty big mess in here. When you pulled something in, you couldn't even work on it. So we took down all of that over there, the counter and everything. I don't know if I've ever showed it, but there used to be a big counter and pegboard. We put these 2 shelves here, put a shelf there, bolt bed, still got the air compressor. And then we got that whole pegboard, all this stuff. The whole reason it came in here, I think I'm gonna use the Oliver later. I might use the plow one. I'm not sure if it'll work for the garden, doing rows on it. It rained a lot yesterday and the day before. Why did I plug that up? It rained a decent amount. So we need to get the garden planted today. And I need to charge this battery so I can get it in the Oliver. That way, if I do decide to use it, I can use it. Not that anything's wrong with the International, but if I use that plow to make rows, that plow works really good on the Oliver. The 3.1 just works better. The International, it doesn't get enough grab to get in the ground. It doesn't really make sense, but it works really good on the Oliver compared to the International. So I'm just going to let that charge while I go spray weeds and do some other stuff, and then we'll work on that later. All right, the next thing I'm going to try and do before it gets too hot out here, it's already like 70 something. You see we got 3 posts in, T-posts. There's supposed to be T-posts all around. There's 4 on that side. I think I've said this before, but we had all of them in, but they were too short. I'd put them all in. So we ended up using those for the goat pen. And my dad bought some of these longer ones. So there's 11 of them that need to be put in. It's just kind of something I've been procrastinating because I'm not a huge fan of putting T-posts in. But I'm going to try and get at least some of those done today. And that way they're just done. I don't have to keep looking at the T-posts that are just laying on the ground. All right, guys, so I wanted to give you all a bit of an animal check-in. I haven't shown my animals in here for a while. Also, I got some new ones. So I got 3 new chickens from Jaden. He got a rabbit and he wanted to put it in his chicken coop, so he wanted the chickens out of it. So that one is a silky. That's the correct name. I just called it an Afro chicken. I would show y'all closer, but they don't really like me and let me get close. There's another Afro chicken he gave me, and a bigger hen. It's actually a huge hen. Okay, here's the big hen that he gave me. None of my other chickens have names, but he decided to name that one Olivia, so I guess that's Olivia. There's the other Afro chicken. This one just kind of got a mohawk. The other one has a nice afro. It's just wet. So anyways, we have 7 chickens. I had another red one. I had 5 before I got these 3 black ones. It actually died on Sunday. It was like 5.5 years old. I'm not surprised that it died because, of course, chickens don't live extremely long. And then, of course, here's the goats. They're still doing good. They decided to be mischievous and knock down the wood pile yesterday. So I got to pick that up here in a little bit. But they're making friends with the chickens, I guess. They're still being happy, eating all their grass. Still give them hay, everything. I got to feed them and everything today. But there's all the animals, or all of the chickens. And then here's the 3 goats. Alright, so also, I have some sad news. My sister's horse died, Dancer. That was, I think, the first video I have on here when we got that horse and that donkey. I think I said it before, but that donkey, he got a new home with one of my dad's friends. He He had a bunch of donkeys and mules. Dancer, last Wednesday when I was at Noah's house, which that was Noah, you saw it in the beginning there, and we said Sanford, he was talking about his dog getting run over by that thing, which it didn't, but he's saying if it did. But on Wednesday, she texted me, and apparently the horse was acting weird. So my dad got a hold of the vet, and he came out, said she had colic, gave her a whole bag of fluids and 2 shots, said she was dehydrated and stuff. So then she did fine. The rest of Wednesday, she perked up, started eating again, and she drank a lot. And then Thursday, she was perfectly fine. And then Friday morning, we were getting ready for school, and my dad happened to look out the window, and he went out there and checked, and sure enough, she had died during the night at some point. So I went to school. My sister was pretty upset. She went to school because she had an SOL. Then she came home early, and then they loaded her up, took her to some guy around here who composts them. But anyways, the vet said that, yeah, he thought it was colic, but it also could have been cancer. He said horses can't handle cancer, like, at all. So he said if she got it, it spreads really quick. They can get it and then just die really soon. So he says he thinks it had something to do with her cardiovascular system, too. So anyways, now we don't have a horse anymore, just the cows, chickens, and the goats for the outside animals. But anyways, I just thought I'd let you know that. Alright guys, so I know in the beginning of this, I just had some videos that I didn't talk in, like the pallets. So those pallet ordeals, last Wednesday I went to my buddy Noah's house, and across from his house, the electric company around here is putting on new power lines, or they're doing a bunch of work to them. And a lot of these power lines go through farmers' fields, and so they're laying all these pallets down. They're 2x8 boards, solid oak, and they're 14 foot long, 7 foot wide, each pallet is. And they've got like thousands of them across the county. And my friend Noah had said he wanted some, and they were doing this across the road from his house. So we drove over there, and I asked them if we could have some, and they actually gave us 29 of them. So I think not next Wednesday, because next Wednesday we should be mowing hay. 2 Wednesdays from now, I'll probably go back there, and we're going to work on taking them apart. He's going to use a couple of them to put in his cow field for when they feed hay, because they always get stuck with their skid loader. So that way they can drive on them. And then the rest we're going to take apart, and he's building a goat barn, because he has like 6 goats, and then he has 5 hunting dogs that he all has in there. So he's building a new goat barn. He's going to use some of those boards to do that. Then he also is going to build a chute for cows, because they have their head gate, but then once they come out, they need a chute to run them back to the fence. So I don't know when all that's going to happen. They're probably just going to do that without me. But we're getting some, and those boards are going to be for the lean-to. We're going to take some apart, and we're going to keep a bunch of the boards and use for the lean-to on the barn where we have all those electric poles. So anyways, that's what those were there for, and that's what we were doing. Was they had just, the guy had told us he could bring them over to Noah's house down the road, because his skid loader wouldn't lift them. And so that was video of that. And then power washing the tractor, there's a diesel leak on it. It leaked a big puddle. So we were trying to figure out where it was coming from, because it wouldn't drip a lot or do anything when I was using it that I could see. But then when I'd go out to see, when I'd park it, when I'd go out to get it again, it had a big puddle and it was wet. So I power washed it to see where the diesel leak's coming from. It's coming from the cutoff valve. So once we make hay, we figure that'll drain a lot of the diesel plus what's leaking out. And then once the tank's pretty much empty, we'll put a new cutoff valve in there, so it should hopefully stop leaking. But anyways, so I think I'm going to plant the garden here in a little bit, but this video is already long enough, so I might be in the next one. I got to mow and weed eat this afternoon. And then my little cousin has a t-ball game. So I'm going to call that the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.